Yep.
Good morning. Welcome to Good morning. Welcome to OD and Chill. I'm Yestin Keys, Managing Director for Overdose Southeast Asia here in Singapore. And joining me today is Rabi Hasnabi, Country Manager for Bata, Singapore and the Philippines. Welcome, Rabi.
Hi, Yestin. Good morning to you, and thank you for having me.
Pleasure. No, it's great to have you here. Just a few notes for the audience. We are live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So please get involved. Please leave comments. Please ask questions, and yeah, we'll do our best to answer them. So welcome, Rabi. I'm just admiring your background. That's real, isn't it?
Yeah, man. I just want to create some envy here, especially for you. Look at this background. I mean, this is real stuff. This is the view from our office here in Singapore. Unfortunately, I could not join you from home this morning because my wife is still sleeping. So I want to make sure that I'll respect that for now. And most importantly, I want to show you the background. And isn't it amazing, right?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. Mine is not quite so awesome. If I move my screen, I might be able to show you our new neon sign, but I couldn't get that to work in the background today. But next time you come to the office, I can give you a live demo.
Right. Anyway, you were here, so you have seen it live for yourself as well. How are you doing this morning, Yestin?
I am very well, thank you. Yeah, looking forward to catching up. I guess it's probably just under a year since we first met, right? Or just over a year?
Yep. It was, I think, right after the lockdown that we have. It was like around August, September last year, if I'm not mistaken. And it feels like 10 years actually, because a lot of things have changed throughout the last year, honestly.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? A lot has changed, but also a lot hasn't changed.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at where we are right now, I think we're still having a lot of cases here in Singapore. Even though we have a lot of vaccination, probably we're one of the most vaccinated countries in the world right now. But you could see that restrictions are still there, and the situation is not 100% in place. Even though, hands down, security and safety first. That's always has been the mantra also of us here at Bata. But of course, if we look at the business situation, we're definitely looking to see an improvement here in the market, so that finally we can see our business coming back strongly as it used to be 1 year ago. Because after the lockdown, what happened is that there was this need from the people to finally get out, have some food, have some fun, do some shopping. And so we are really hoping for that to happen now. I heard that the restriction a little bit would be lifted. We were joking about it the other day about the family situation, that they cannot sit together. So now I'm happy to see that 5 people from the same family can go out and dine. That's a great achievement, I guess.
Progress indeed, although sometimes it's quite nice that your kids have to sit on their own when you go out for dinner. I must admit that's worked quite well on a couple of occasions. Not for other diners, of course, but maybe just for me and my wife. But,
right. I mean, it's good. My wife just joined me here. On a personal note, I've been after the pandemic hit. Basically, at that time, my girlfriend was stuck in Italy. She's supposed to come, but because of the pandemic, she couldn't, unfortunately, and we were not married at the time. So I had this year to go back and marry the girl and bring her here, and so definitely she's 1 month right now here, and she's still adjusting to the way of seeing things. And one of these things is definitely keeping your mask outdoor, or sitting in separate tables, even if you are the same family. So yeah, let's hope that this will change a little bit, and then we can go back a little bit to some normality, if that's even the right word to use, because I think a lot of things will change forever right now, and as in life, the same goes with business, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think I always kind of go into these OD and chill sessions hoping not to talk about COVID, but in some ways it's impossible not to touch on it, given the just the breadth of the impact across, as you say, not just personal lives, but business life as well. For Bata, as a huge global brand with presence in markets all around the world, and in kind of I guess range of cultures and stages of economic development. What are your observations in terms of tackling that? Because I guess thinking of your wife coming over from Europe and obviously seeing quite a different approach here in terms of pandemic management, there must be a business challenge there as well in terms of operating in countries that are just at completely different stages.
Absolutely, yeah. So how can I put it? It's like we have to see the world of business as well as retail in a completely different way. What this pandemic have done is definitely shift many beliefs that traditional retailers was used to. I'll give you some example. I mean, when COVID hit and you are now locked down for 3 months, at least I'm talking here for Singapore, your only source of income became online, and that definitely opened the eyes of many people, many retailers, many business people. Of course, the journey of Bata through e-commerce started, at least here in Singapore, we started that back in 2013, 2014. But the acceleration that we are seeing right now that COVID has shown us is just like the investments, the budget that we're putting into the business, into the online business, or I would say to the omni-channel experience, are definitely much more greater than they used to be before. And like us, I think you read around everybody in the retail is having this shift. So definitely shift to digital is a thing. I know that many people think that, after COVID, then we can go back to brick and mortar. That's not going to happen. And we are also preparing and moving into that complete culture shift because you really need to follow where the customer is going. And the customer is demanding a completely different customer experience and a different way of service. And so that's where we, omni-channel experience is a big thing happening right now in Bata. And I'm not saying only in Singapore, but I would say at the global level. We've seen also a lot of shift in for example, in the product selection. I think we all know, for example, taking the example of Singapore, that dining is until 10:30. No more clubbing. No more, having fun outdoor. We could see also that work from home has for the last kind of 1 year and a half became like the default. So people were now investing in their dress shoes, in their formal shoes, and everything. So we've seen a shift from those items to a more casual kind of product, and therefore casualization, athleisure, sport sneakers collection are going to be the main dominant categories moving forward, and that definitely will reflect also in our online strategy. Sustainability is another topic that the company is dealing with since many years, and again, I think as we speak, we know that the COP26 just finished, if I'm not mistaken, or still ongoing. And so
last day maybe. Yeah,
something is. I mean, we all hope that better and bigger decision will be coming out from that, because it's affect every one of us, not only us, but our children, the future generation. And in that direction, Bata has been always, looking to serve the communities that we've been in. We're talking about a company who have more than 125 years. So throughout this time, we really been able to be part of the community, and the first cities that were born in certain countries were around the factories of Bata, and that at that time we were talking about a visionary man who built school behind around the factory and hospitals, and so that was always in the DNA of Bata, and with that with that thing that we are having, we are continuing also in the future. So our products will reflect that, our supply chain will reflect that, and the community service will be always something that we will cherish as a company, because today more than ever, I think that's needed.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess, do you think that DNA in terms of, the history of the brand, the benevolent capitalism, the focus on community, the focus on range and value, do you think in some ways that has made you guys actually quite well prepared to navigate the pandemic, just in terms of shifting demand for certain types of product, shifting priorities, people perhaps really focusing more on sustainability? Do you think that's actually become a real source of competitive advantage for Bata?
Well, I absolutely think so, because one thing also, confronting this pandemic is what we have learned as well is that we really need to focus on what we can control, and leave that we cannot control, to manage it. Of course, we can control lockdowns. We can't control if the government will open up for tourism or not, but definitely we can control our reaction to what's happening into the market, and that's why we've been able to read what was going on and react to it in a positive way. Today we're definitely in a better place because of all those tasks that we've been able to, all this action that we've been able to put in place, and that's of course coming from a history of being used to it. Sometimes we joke here in Bata, we say that, even if you look at the world map, and specifically now Europe, Bata was born in Europe and specifically in Czech Republic, what is known today as Czech Republic. And even if you look at the map today, the countries themselves have changed. So there's no more, Soviet Union, there is no more, Czechoslovakia as we know it, but Bata is still there. So to be able to navigate all those changes, political, social, even in the past, during SARS, we have had an impact as well during those times, but I would say minor. Being able to do that and in those times, just give the people in the brand that ability to really be able to welcome change, adapt to it, and therefore have the right tools and the right mindset to confront it. And I would say that if one thing that Bata is giving to all of us, have given us to all of us, is definitely that mindset, that agility and mindset to be able to deal with any of the issues in the best way possible. Because make no mistake, today's COVID, tomorrow might be something else, and so on and so on. And as business leaders, as a company, as a brand, we need to be really ready at any given time and keep growing and keep learning from our consumers, from the situation, in order to be able to respond properly to every challenge that will come.
It's a really interesting dynamic, actually, because often we, at Overdose, we see companies perhaps struggling, or brands struggling to adapt to a changing environment. And often that is because they've been around, a long time. They've been doing things a certain way. They've been extremely successful doing things a certain way. And sometimes that kind of, it makes it hard to shift. And I think it's interesting. Bata is a brand that's been around for a very long time, but it's actually able to turn that heritage, that history, into a source of competitive advantage that actually equips it to deal with change, perhaps better than you expect, perhaps looking from the outside in, which I think is awesome.
Well, don't get me wrong. I think also here in Bata, we didn't find it easy, you know, to change that, you know, if there is one thing, you know, certainly life is changed, but if there is one of the most things that people resist is change. So it is not an easy process, and you're absolutely right. What we have to do is really, whatever we know that we have some failures, or we know that we have some blind spots or blind sides, that's where you, as we as a company, that we really look for partners. In this case, that's how we met, you know, with Overdose, to make sure that you guys also you give us the new tools on how to confront the challenge, because traditionally, even the people that are working, for example, here in Singapore, we have people working like since 40 years, 20 years, and of course to tell them, to inform them that, you know, now we're going online, people who've been doing certain kind of business in a certain way for so many years, it's not easy to accept, you know, and you really have to go slowly and to involve the people in the process. And so throughout the way, there were some failures, there will be some failures and everything, but I think is, I'll put it as one of your countrymen have put it, success is moving from one failure to another failure without a lot of enthusiasm. And and so we are still in that process, and I think, you know, with you guys on board, and the way also we are managing our relationship, the way also you've been straightforward with us, telling us where we should look for and how we can deal with certain things, it just adds to whatever we have, and is actually enriched for us to be able to move forward with the right tools and with the right partners in our new journey.
Oh, you know, that's great to hear. And also it's been pretty humbling for us, because, you know, I think for those people watching outside of Singapore, I mean, obviously Bata is a global brand, but, you know, here in Singapore, it's particularly iconic. As you say, you know, you've been here for a long time. It's probably the shoe brand. I think there's even the phrase, is it back to Bata, back to school? So, you know, it's been part of families' lives here for you know, decades. So it's humbling for us to come and work with you guys, and for you guys to be so open as well in terms of some new directions. So yeah, we've thoroughly enjoyed being on the journey with you so far.
Yeah, same here. I think, you said it right. Bata Singapore was established in 1931, and yes, to whoever you talk to, everybody knows Bata. And I think to all our consumers, Bata is dear to their hearts, because it reminds them of back to school. And so I know that might sound a little bit, you know, back to school, but actually we are proud to be there. You know, we're proud. That's a point of pride for us, because not only we are a back to school brand to some extent, but we are the back to school brand. So as we speak, Bata is, after so many years, the #1 choice in the market for back to school. And not only for that, we're talking about comfort, we're talking about other categories, casual, we're basically serving the family. So when you have that you know, heritage of back to school, I can tell you that during the pandemic and during the lockdown, one of our best categories still was back to school, and still was online back to school. So people, just to be able to buy our shoes, they had kind of like to learn how to go online and purchase shoes online and everything. And we had done some videos to support some of our customers, helping them throughout their journey to be able to, you know, to support them. We have instituted some call centers to support the sales. So even if the channel will change, luckily we have a bulk of loyal customers that are supporting the brand, and they're loyal to the brand, and we are very grateful for that, and we are doing the best we can to serve them in the most amazing way possible.
Yeah, back to school. It's almost a national occasion, isn't it? I mean, it's almost a shopping occasion, which is fantastic.
Right.
You know, it's
Yeah.
phenomenal achievement for the brand. Talking
Yeah.
of shopping occasions, obviously I say the dust is settling. It's probably still not quite over yet, but there's another 11/11 Singles Day
Oh, yeah.
occasion kind of departing in the rear view mirror. Um,
Yeah.
you know, as a marketer and a retailer, what's your take on these kind of mega occasions that I guess have become so dominant over the last maybe 3 to 4 years?
Oh, yeah. Well, as I said, reality is what it is, and one of the most important thing for us is to be present and read the market as it goes. And so, if we look at the marketplaces, and if we're looking at the online and the events in the online, these are things that will always be there. When we started, I remember that 11/11 was the day, and still many people do not know on the traditional way what is 11/11. But then 11/11, which is the biggest event right now, came, and then 9/9 follow it, and then now you have 12/12, and then you have 10/10, and we're starting from 1/1 now. But
yeah,
so it's like a little bit, iPhone 12, iPhone 13, iPhone 14. It's just it's something that is going to be there, and so we have learned as well to move from our traditional, I would say, marketing calendar or promotional calendar in the brick and mortar situation, which will probably include, Chinese New Year and back to school and Christmas and, those kind of events, to other events that are mainly online. The way we see marketplaces is as a form of showcasing also our product and being able to enlarge our crowd, to access to the brand and access to the product that we offer. Sometimes I have to explain it to some of our seasoned colleagues. It's like you will see marketplace as our department store. So you have your retail stores, your direct stores, and then you have your department stores. So department stores are not directly owned by you. So you go to the department store, you pay a commission, they put your product, and then they will have their own marketing, and they will have their own style of doing things. So if we put it in that way, I hope you allow me the comparison, but it's just to be, making it easy also to understand. And so for us, we see the marketplace as a kind of a department store, if you wish. Maybe is a little bit of a stretch, but it is what it is. So you cannot, for sure, expose all your product there. It's definitely different. There are several marketplaces, and they have all different means of sales. Some are more focused on price, some are more focused on trends, some are more focused on quality. And based on that, you allocate or you cluster your product based on those marketplaces. But it's definitely a cooperation that we cherish. And I think that moving forward, that's something that it is going to be there. And as we do the department stores, and as we do the retail stores, and as we will also do the marketplace, and we'll definitely pay more attention to these events like the 11/11 and 9/9 and so on.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I think for all the transformation that's taken place in retail, some of the concepts of traditional retail, still apply in online retail. So your analogy, the online marketplace is not a million miles away from the department store. So, it doesn't necessarily have to be an either-or decision. It's something that can coexist with your own branded store.
Yeah.
So we've got a question, which I think is, good, pertinent to what we've just been discussing. So this is from Farid. Is there a struggle to push the other product range since most Heartlanders recognise the Bata back-to-school brands?
Oh yeah, for sure. That's part of our agenda. That has been always part of our agenda. if I look at Bata globally, for example, in Europe, Bata is not back to school anymore. In the sense that yes, we offer some back to school collection, but in Europe is more of a family brand serving the whole family. In this part of the world, is definitely still recognized as one of the main back to school brands. And we, again, I repeat that we're proud about that. And we're proud also, again, to be the #1 choice for that category. But we don't have only that. We are also known for our in-house brand. We have a lot of in-house brands such as Power, that is one of our sneaker collection, and our shoes. We are serving the young generation through our North Star collection, that is catering more to a different generation. We have our Windbrenner shoes, which is an outdoor collection for those who love to go for adventures. And of course, we have our ladies collection as well, that goes from sandals to formal shoes, high heels, and everything. But what also, we're not only pushing those categories, but also we are making sure that comfort is the common denominator that all these categories has. So Bata really stands for comfort with style in this case. And we are not only looking for comfort as the main thing, but also innovation. Recently, we have launched our antibacterial collection. Given the big talk about pandemic and viruses and everything, so we have launched for kids collection, for our Badu Gammas collection, an antibacterial collection that will help to make sure that moms and dads are a little bit comfortable to send their kids around with some good materials. The change in sustainability that we are also doing, the materials that we are using, that agenda also will be communicating that a little bit more. But certain things are hard to die, and as much as we're happy to be the #1 for back to school, because people connect their childhood to the brand. And so now we have to accompany them on that journey by providing them shoes that they can use for work, shoes that they can use for their games, shoes that they can work for their free time. And that's happening actually. And we are going definitely to push that more in the future for sure.
Here's a good question. So from someone on LinkedIn, how was the shift to digital made an impact to Bata as a brand? And what are your plans or focuses for this peak season to remain brand of choice? So I guess, coming off the back of 11/11 into Cyber Weekend and 12/12 and 1/1 and
exactly. I think as we speak earlier, it's really that mindset shift that the company has started many years back, and has been accelerated after the pandemic. Bata is in many countries already have set up an omni-channel experience. So it's not something that is going to happen, it's something that is already happening. If we think of China, if you think about Europe, if you think about Italy, if you think about Indonesia, if you think about Singapore as well, that systems are being put in place. What we want to do, again, as I was mentioning earlier, is that we want to accompany, or we want to go through the journey with our consumer, whatever they want to shop. And that means that brick and mortar has to be there, and is going to be still playing a big role moving forward. Online is going to be there as well, either it be your direct.com or through marketplaces. And so you have to, it's not a choice between this or that. It's a combination. It's providing a seamless experience to all of our consumers. And that's where, again, Overdose and you guys have come into the pictures, because also what we are learning is that sometimes I would put it this way, if you allow me the comparison. It's like in order for someone to be happy or to be, in peace, what you think, what you say, and what you do has to be aligned. And so that is, I think, the journey that everybody in the retail is doing, not only Bata. And so even if we think that we would like to be the #1 leader in online and shoes and everything, but what you have to do is to make sure that you're setting up the right technologies, and that's where you guys coming from, and that's why we are moving from our actual, we're changing our website, moving from Magento to Shopify, and through the support that you guys are giving us. And that's the reason why we're auditing all our systems to make sure that we are serving and we're providing a great consumer experience, and making sure that people can really find it easy to shop online as well as they did for our retail stores. And through these processes, basically to offer the consumer that they can browse online and pick it up on the store, they can go to the store, try it on, and then buy it online. I think today, one thing does not exclude the other. And so that's how we are moving forward in this journey.
Yeah, and I think it's really refreshing, the approach you guys are taking, because you look at different markets around the world and regions and so on, and everyone's at varying stages on the I suppose omni-channel adoption from a retailer perspective, in terms of you've had brands that have come off older tech stacks and they're now on newer tech stacks that allow that omni-channel experience. I think in Singapore and Southeast Asia to an extent, we're kind of on the edge of that. We're not quite there, but there are a few brands that are kind of already made the leap, and I think it'd be great to see Bata being one of the brands in that vanguard of that change, because it will quickly become the standard that consumers and shoppers expect, and obviously those who haven't adapted, I guess, run the risk of being left behind to a certain extent.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and here in Singapore, I think in Bata Singapore, we have a great advantage. We are the largest shoe brand in Singapore, so we have more store than any other competitors. So as we put it, Bata has a store in every Amati, and so it will definitely make a lot of sense to serve even better our consumers by really like just take a couple of stations, and then you go and pick it up in the store, and really order it online, or we can deliver it to your home. So I think that has been successful in many countries, and we are doing that already. But we are going to do it in Singapore as well. The reason we are starting the journey of omnichannel right now, I think, is also because when we have met Lester, I think, and through the audit that we have done, I think we want to also have the right partner in this journey, because the approach also that you guys are providing us is one of the right one that we like, because you're very straightforward as well. So even though we are chill, but it's also a very serious approach and very straightforward approach. I like particularly when we met last year and you did the first audit, and we pointed out which are the things that we needed to improve and what are the benefits to those things. And looking at what we used to have in our website and the one that we are going to launch very soon, I think we're really thrilled and excited to share that with our consumers very soon. And that's just point number one. It's like step number one, and then I'm sure that more we can do together, and we will do together through your support and guidance. We're gonna be talking also about having that in some of our POS systems that we can connect the things. So yeah, it's an amazing journey, and we at Bata are very excited to go through it. But again, without thinking just online, but really uniting the two things. That's where our power will and our edge will be.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think we're super excited about that as well. Obviously, you've got the new Shopify Plus online store coming before the end of the year. And then, as you say, I think your Bata's physical footprint in Singapore is probably, I mean, it's almost second to none, right? Just in terms of the coverage and sheer number of stores. So the scale of the omnichannel experience that we'll be able to create, and the simplicity that will create for consumers and convenience that will create for consumers, I think is going to be an amazing case study.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, again, we are thrilled to as we build the new website and rebuilding the contents and redirecting and reshifting the way also we communicate, and having also the ability to hear from our consumers. We have done some surveys, and we are incorporating some of these changes in our new strategies and everything. It is just, despite the pandemic, despite the crisis, the health crisis, whatsoever, it warms our heart to be, here thinking to the next steps and the next stages, and it's exciting, and it's a never-ending story, and that's part also of, again, our DNA, that continuous learning and growing and making sure that we're serving the consumers in the best way possible is that driving the agenda.
Yeah, awesome. Lots to look forward to for sure. So for folks just joining us, I'm Yestin. I'm the MD for Overdose here in Southeast Asia, and this is OD and Chill Live. And today joining us is the awesome Rabi Hasnabi, who's country manager for Bata Singapore and the Philippines. So get involved if you're just joining. Shoot some questions. Obviously, very happy to answer them for you. So I guess, moving away briefly from the worlds of e-commerce and COVID, Rabi, what's obviously, you've come over from Europe, you're originally from Italy. What's been your career journey to date that's brought you here to Singapore?
All right, it's a journey. You're absolutely right. All right, let me give you a little bit of background about me. So I was born in Morocco and grew up in Italy, and since then I was doing my studies, doing my life basically there. Since then, I joined Bata back in 2002. So this actually was my 20 years of my experience in this great, beautiful company. And since then, basically, I started actually as a store manager. So I really, started from the bottom, and that was a great deal for me, because I could really understand how the end process of whatever decision is going to be taken in the head office or the management offices. It gives me really the full understanding about how business works. So customer service, product placement, commercial setting, visual merchandising, pricing, like the whole picture. Since then, I've been doing several cities in Italy, some of the top stores, and then I've been promoted to area manager. And then I started joining the franchising team, and that was another hell of an experience, because then I traveled across all Europe, delivering the Bata look and feel in more than 40 countries and 40 stores in so many countries. So I've been really in places that are honestly amazing. Just, I've been in Azerbaijan, Armenia, Uzbekistan, despite, the European, Western European countries. So it was an amazing journey in that sense. And then back in 2015, a company had asked me to join the Asian countries, and then where I joined our colleagues in Bata, Indonesia. Now, you have to understand that I come from a small town near Verona, which we are like 25,000 people. That's all about it. And now you're thrown literally in a city of 25 million people. So
quite a contrast.
I mean, when they talk about cultural shock, I know what that means. Like literally, I lived it on my own skin. And so now you have the humidity, which is high, then you have traffic, then literally you are not moving because the traffic is crazy. But and now you're challenged to the core because you're going out from your comfort zone. You are doing a completely different thing in a completely different environment, in a different culture. And I was terrified. I'll be very honest with you. I was a retail manager. I was promoted at the time as a retail manager with 540 stores. So, because Bata Indonesia is one of the biggest companies that we have. And as you can imagine, that was scary and everything. But then, step by step, I've been able to read. I managed to read the culture of the team and everything. And after that, for something that was so scary and uncomfortable, it became one of the best experiences of my life. And I will definitely, suggest this situation to everyone. The situation, I mean, going out from your comfort zone, because it will really drive you to places that you probably even know that you can have that power to do or achieve certain things. From that, I moved to Philippines, where I stayed there for 3 years. There was no company, Bata company at the time. So we built the whole company from scratch, set up the business, set up the processes in all the departments, starting from merchandising, from collection, operations, retail, and whatsoever. And recently also set up also the online business as well there. And then joined the Singapore team right in March 2020, when the pandemic had hit a few weeks later. And so since then, now I'm in Singapore, and then also managing remotely for now, Bata Philippines. So yeah, this is my journey. It seems like really yesterday. I grew up in this company. I learned about business in this company. I learned about myself throughout this company. But most importantly, I've been amazed about the diversity that our colleagues in different countries are having, and about the cultures, the food, the way of seeing things, the way of doing things is just so enriching, and the experience that I'm so happy and proud that I'm doing it. And I'm very, very, very grateful for this experience. So yeah, this is a little bit of my background.
Epic stuff. Epic stuff. I mean, I think it's really refreshing to hear that kind of story. 18 years with the same company, all of that growth and kind of personal development and new experiences. I think these days there's a lot of kind of 2 to 3 year appointments. You started off as a store manager, whereas in a lot of MNCs, I guess people are in and out of roles within a few years without kind of ever having seen or touched the sharp end of the business or the consumer end of the business. So yeah. It's really awesome that is still, that kind of company and that kind of experience is still alive today. In terms of that, you mentioned earlier the kind of small town in Italy to kind of Indonesian megalopolis. What's and that kind of culture shock? I mean, I guess I came over to Singapore from London nearly 6 years ago, and definitely wasn't at the same scale in terms of the transition and those 500 stores countrywide in Indonesia. But what were your learnings from that, or because I think obviously COVID aside, a lot of us move between kind of very different cultures and different environments professionally as well. What were your learnings in terms of navigating that successfully and I guess coming out the other side stronger?
Well, it's really hard to describe it in few words, really, because it was a real journey. I think the to me at least was really to challenge my my beliefs, my comfort zone. You know that you have that need of doing better, growing more. I think we probably me, you, Yastin, and many other colleagues, we are very, very lucky to have this kind of opportunities where you can rather see the world and everything. So for me, it's just like there's one way to go, and that's ahead, and take that opportunity. Will definitely feel uncomfortable at first, but it's something that it will definitely take you to places and stretch you. It's like really a muscle that if you keep working on it, it will definitely show the results. I was reading a quote that say that I like very much, which says like this, like that. Our minds are like a parachute. It only works if it's open. And really, that was always the spirit I always take during this journey. So I had to adjust. I had to adapt. I mean, like when I was going to Indonesia and I had like my way of doing things and my way of working. Europe is very, everything is due yesterday, not tomorrow. While in Indonesia, and no disrespect in this, but it's just like the culture is a little bit more kind of not that stressful for good reasons, because you learn that as well, to chill out a little bit. And so you have to adjust that your deadlines and your colleague deadlines has a certain point to meet. And that's not up to them only, but it's up to you. So you have also to adjust to the environment, create channels of communications to be able to cooperate and coordinate. And there's no right or wrong. It is just how things are. And you have to be able to read the situation, to be present to the situation, and act on it. And once you do that, then it will be easier for you to welcome change, will be easier to adjust, will be easier to adapt. And the journey is still ongoing. I think we are just, at the part of it. So yeah, really, really excited to see what's next.
And what about, we talked a bit about the pandemic at the start, and everything from the restrictions to the impact on business, and yourself, real kind of classic case study in some ways, and not in a good way, that your fiance was back in Italy, and you didn't see each other for, it must have been 18 months, and then obviously you're married now, and she's here, which is awesome. But what do you do personally to kind of decompress outside of work and in the face of the pandemic and so on? What's your escape route?
Okay, so again, I'm gonna just give you my point of view on things. And when the pandemic hit, and when I arrived here in Singapore, I just like really having a few weeks. So I knew the team because in Bata, Singapore is the regional hub, is the regional office. So I knew the colleagues, some of the colleagues. I've been working with them throughout several months prior to come to Singapore. But I did not know the rest of the team. I did not know how the whole company functioned, the stores, and so on and so forth. And now you have to handle a company without even knowing deeply the situation, and that creates a lot of stress. And make no mistake, I think one of the number one, issues that we are dealing with is really people, in the sense is of making sure that our team, our people are heard, making sure that we are adjusting to our teams, making sure that really we are doing things in a certain way or in a different way, because you can no longer use the same methods like before. For example, there are some people who are working from home. There are some people who can come to the office. There are some people who can work from the stores. And so you have to combine all those kind of things. And it was not easy during the pandemic, because you really have to do another shift and another change in your mindset and everything. So I personally discovered that the only way to do it is really to calm down. And one of the best method I'm using right now, I started that even before the pandemic, is to meditate. It might sound woo-woo, but it is absolutely is an experience that I will definitely suggest to anybody to do. No big issues, like no big deal. Like I just really relax for 5 to 10 minutes every morning, close my eyes and do some breathing. and just to center a little bit myself and accept what is going to come. And that's have helped me a lot. I'll definitely suggest a walk to everybody. I mean, we are lucky to be in Singapore, and we have the possibility to go cycling, to go running, and so definitely I'll exercise time to time during the week, so that helps me also release some of the stress. Reading, I rediscovered reading during the pandemic, and it's one of the best ways of really detaching from whatever you have, problems or situations, because you really need to focus as much as you can on the reading. And honestly speaking, reading gives me as well a lot of tools to help me to handle the situation, because you are really learning new information, you're acquiring new tools, you're acquiring new skills through the reading, and that helps a lot. And most importantly is also to chill a little bit, have a glass of wine, be around friends, be around some of the colleagues. Some of the colleagues we celebrate even the small wins. Several times we've been up there in the Marina Bay, relax, have some fresh air, and get a glass of wine. But yeah, these are some of the things that I do to relax a little bit. And we heard the word resilience a lot. We heard the word patience a lot, persistence. During the times that I could not, like many other colleagues, we have colleagues from Malaysia, we have colleagues from China, from the Philippines. They all not been able to visit their families, and that has been, very hard for many of us. And so we try to do town halls with all the team, coffee sessions, as much as we can, as soon as possible. We save their leaves so that they can use them to go as soon as the borders will open. It's a lot to unwind, but definitely we're still learning throughout the process. But as long as we keep learning, as long as we keep growing, it's definitely we're gonna have the solutions to whatever it comes, I believe.
Awesome, no, some fantastic insights there, and yeah, I'm the same. I think because I think it's easy in the days of these things, it's quite easy to get out of the habit of reading at night time, particularly before you go to sleep, and you're going to stare at your phone. And I went through a phase of not reading, and I've always been a reader. And I think when you stop it for a while, you start to realise what what it's taking away. Instead of just reading social media or news or whatever, or LinkedIn before you go to sleep. I mean, it's good to let your brain wander, kind of pick up different, think about some completely different set of information or challenges, process those, bring those learnings back to work the next day. So yeah, totally see that. We're almost out of time, so I think it's been great chatting to you, Rabi. Great career insights and great insights into the business here in Singapore. One last question. Here you go. Yeah, your favourite running route, and which Bata shoe do you use?
That's a good one. So I live near the area here in City Hall CBD, and my normal route will go. I'll do the Marina Bay, and then up to the Marina Barrage, Clarke Quay, Old Quay, and then come back. But the 2021, my birthday, I made a commitment to kind of like run a marathon. I've been like preparing for it during my Saturdays and Sundays. So I'll start with 5 clicks, and then I'll go 10, and then go 3. And so I'm happy to say that finally I did all the East Coast back and forth in 2021. So that's what 42 clicks, and I'm very proud of that. And of course, I'll do that with my power shoes, which is our sneaker collection here at Bata. And definitely I will recommend Mohammed, whenever he wants to come, I'll be very happy to suggest the right pair.
I think that is a bit of a throwdown, to be honest with you, because I know he fancies himself as a bit of a triathlete on the quiet. So I think that's a bit of a throwdown.
Right? Okay. Great.
So you're not tempted by the Stan Chart Marathon coming up in December then?
Oh, there is a marathon in December?
Yeah. Apparently it's 4,000 people only, but I guess there'll be like staggered starts and so on, but it's going ahead, yeah.
Okay, I have some colleagues who are doing those, do the running seriously. I'm gonna definitely check with them. Yeah, and by the way, just to add on that, we have institute a small running team now, and some days, it's very open to everyone, and it's really nice to see different teams from different departments, finance with operation with merchandising, in small groups going around and do some running also in Singapore. Of course, as much as we can do that given the restrictions, but it was also nice to instill that kind of culture of sport and running and relaxing and easing it out to running as well, happening also in the company. So I'm very happy for that as well. I will check the marathon.
Really cool.
You will be there, Justin? You will be there?
Not this year, maybe next year.
Let's do it.
I'm doing a 5K fun run on the same day, but I don't know about the 42K.
Okay. All right. Great.
Well, it's been great to chat to you, Rabi. I will look forward to celebrating the launch of the new site with you over a few beers early next month. But yeah, thanks again for your time. It's been awesome to chat today, and obviously it's been awesome working with you guys, over the 12 months to date, and looking forward to more success in the future.
Yeah, yes, and thank you very much for inviting me, and really great session. I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much. And most importantly, also thanks to you and to the whole team in Overdose for the support that you guys have given us. We are really happy that you are our partner in this journey, and I'm sure we're gonna have great success and not celebrate only the launch of the site, but many other victories moving forward in 2022 as well.
It's our pleasure. That sounds awesome. We'll look forward to that. Thanks, Rabi. Have a great weekend ahead.